I want to show you something that genuinely surprised me when I ran the numbers. Two people, same salary, same mortgage, same €500 left at the end of every month. One decides to pay off their mortgage early, and the other decides to invest that money. 20 years later, their outcomes are completely different, but not in the way that you'd expect. By the end of this video, you're going to have a simple framework to decide whether you should pay off your mortgage early or invest the money. Let's go. Okay, so on paper, if you're investing in the index fund, you're going to get a 7% return. If you're paying off your mortgage, you are avoiding interest, but that's usually lower at about 4 or 5%. So if you're paying your mortgage off early, you're leaving around 3% on the table. And this can add up to a lot over the long term. Even just a 200 grand mortgage over 20 years, that difference compounds into a serious amount of money. If you want to go deeper on this, I have written a post in my Substack, so check it out in the link below, or my socials, Alice the Accountant. That's the maths case, but we're not robots. Humans are not robots. If we did everything according to maths, well, we wouldn't take into account emotions, and life is just not like that. Even though I studied maths at university and I love maths, that's not real life. A 7% market return is average over time, but there might be some years where your stocks go down. And if your stocks are going down by 15-20% and you're sat there with a 200 grand debt mortgage on your account, that can be genuinely stressful. And then a lot of people panic sell and they lock in the loss, and then they've actually lost money and they haven't gained that 7%. Whereas when you're overpaying your mortgage, that's a guaranteed 4% return, right? Because you're literally paying off a debt that has a 4% interest rate. If it's variable, of course, that could go up, that can go down. There's also the psychological aspect of being mortgage free. So for example, my mom has no mortgage. I know that if she had, she would be stressed about money because she doesn't earn a lot of money. Having that mortgage paid off before my dad passed away is a real psychological safety for her. And that really changed my mind. I always thought, well, no, you should definitely invest and you shouldn't pay off your mortgage. But after seeing the psychological safety that my mom has from paying off her mortgage early, it inspires me to do the same. But let's look at how the maths looks like in practice. So let's meet Sarah and Tom. They're in the same situation. They've got 250 grand mortgages each, 4% interest on their mortgage. And on their mortgage, they've both got 25 years left, and they've got €500 per month spare. So if Tom overpays his mortgage by €500 per month, then he's going to be mortgage free in 17 years. So after 20 years, he's already been 3 years mortgage free. And in those 3 years, he can invest. His total net worth is lower on paper than Sarah's, but he has zero debt and a much lower monthly outgoing. Neither of them is wrong. They just have different priorities, and that's the whole point. If Sarah invests that 500 per month over 25 years, assuming a return of 8%, she is going to have 438,000. Whereas if Tom has paid his mortgage off in 17 years, then he's still got 8 years to invest. So instead of 438 grand, he will have 64 grand. So here's what I actually recommend people do. And it's not a binary choice. First, make sure your emergency fund is in place. That's 3 to 6 months of expenses. That depends on your personal situation. So that depends if you've got kids, if you've got a stable job, if you've got a mortgage. For example, if you're renting and you've got a stable job, 3 months should be enough. But make sure you have that emergency fund in place for peace of mind. Second, if your employer matches your pension contributions, make sure that that's active so that you're still investing and your employer is also investing on your behalf in your future through your pension. It's literally free money. After that, use this framework and ask yourself 2 questions. So 1, what is my mortgage rate? If it's 5% or more, then I definitely recommend paying off your mortgage first for peace of mind, and the maths is actually not that much different. The guaranteed saving from overpaying is pretty hard to beat, so prioritize overpaying. If it's below 4%, the maths strongly favors investing, but also think about the emotional side. If you're in the 4 to 5% mortgage rate gray zone, I recommend doing both. So with that 500 that you have, put 250 towards investing and 250 towards overpaying on your mortgage. You get the psychological safety of overpaying on your mortgage and having less debt, but also the compounding power of the market. And then question 2 is, how would you feel if the stock market dropped by 30% tomorrow? If the answer is I'd be sick with worry, then maybe you should just overpay your mortgage. If your answer is I would buy more stocks, those stocks are on sale, that's me, I would prioritize investing. So to wrap up, this is not just a maths problem, it's maths and psychology. Know your rate, know your risk tolerance, know your emotional state when it comes to your home and to the stock market. Maximize your pension match, keep an emergency fund, and then make the choice that lets you sleep at night. And if you want to talk through your specific situation, I do a free 30-minute discovery call. So if you head to my website, alicetheaccountant.com, I have my Calendly there and you can book a 30-minute free session. And then if you decide you want to work with me, we have 60-minute sessions. It's a really good deal, especially thinking about the investment returns that you'll get in the future, which is like hundreds of thousands. But now I want to hear from you in the comments. Are you team invest? Or are you team pay off the mortgage quickly? I would really love to know your opinions after watching this video. So let me know in the comments below and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.